Today I'm going to talk about some of the resources that I found very helpful during my pathology residency. Especially at the beginning of the residency, most people like myself found pathology is very difficult. That's because the lack of exposure during medical school and especially for morphology. And the first months of residency are usually finding your way to train your eyes for hematoxylin eosin stained slides, aka H&E. That's why knowing the normal histology of each organ systems are very important to appreciate the abnormal ones. So I will start introducing some of the resources that helpful for normal histology. The first one is a textbook called Histology for Pathologists. This was actually the first book that I bought during my residency. One of the most important advantages of this book is that it is very comprehensive. The downside of this, sometimes it's kind of overwhelming to read from start to end. It has so many details related to not just morphology but also embryology. The second book is from Diagnostic Pathology series. Diagnostic Pathology series is a wonderful series of books, and that includes normal histology too. The most important feature of this book is that it gives you the most important aspects of each organ systems with the help of different kind of arrows to show you the actual structure and what it means. So it's really easy to follow, find your way through. Especially as I said, the beginning of your residency, it's really helpful. It's concise. I don't have much about the disadvantages of this book. I really recommend everyone. The third one is a website which you will definitely hear maybe before starting your residency. That is an expert path. So there is a normal histology section of expert path, which is again very concise with lots of nice pictures, with lots of arrows to show you the exact location of the cell or the thing that you're looking for, just for H&E, but also some of the critical immunohistochemistry stains and some other morphologic details. And also separated pediatric normal histology section is very handy in some situations, such as if you are doing a fetal autopsy. You may want to go to look for the appropriate section, so I definitely recommend this resource, but this is not free. You may need to ask your department to buy it for you, or you can buy yourself. Another great website is called Histology Slidebox. This also gives you some of the very nice virtual slides for normal histology. The nice thing about this website is that it highlights some of the cells, and when you click those names, it will take you to the exact location or the cell, which I found very neat feature. Another great resource is a YouTube channel called Washington DC. This is kind of an old channel, but this shotgun histology videos are still very useful, from Dr. Martin Swerdlow. He was an excellent teacher. It's very fun to learn from him. From digital slides, I really found helpful. One special resource for me is definitely Dr. Jared Gardner's YouTube channel. If you are interested in derm path, or if you just want to learn normal skin histology, it will be very important during your residency. You can check definitely skin normal histology video, which is about more than an hour, and it's explained excellent. You may also check his other videos, but during the later stages of your residency, especially for bone and soft tissue and derm path. When you start your anatomic pathology rotations, the first book that you will hear is Molavi's The Practice of Surgical Pathology, a beginner's guide to the diagnostic process. This book is definitely lay the foundation of practical pathology and provides a knowledge base for you, and it includes basic introductory material and progress through each organ system. And within chapters, there's a brief normal histology and also discussion of some of the typical specimens, types, and strategic approach to the specimens, some of the common diagnoses for each organ system. Definitely recommend it. Another great resource is Quick Reference Handbook for Surgical Pathologists. This book contains several high-yield at a glance summaries for quick reference format for various topics. There's an emphasis for immunohistochemistry, special stains, grading systems, molecular markers, syndromes. It's very concise, short book, but also very dense in terms of knowledge. Found this Washington Manual of Surgical Pathology is very useful too. During my first and second year, I used a lot. At this point, some people may wonder about the Robbins and Cotran pathologic basis of disease. So we all know Robbins is a great resource for medical school to understand the underlying principles of pathology and diseases, but to be honest, for the practicing resident or pathologist, it's not the greatest resource, since one of the problems is pathology is the abundance of resources that you really don't need enough time to cover all of them. So if I want to choose one of these resources, Robbins wouldn't be the first one or the second one for my residency or for practice. Basically, you can definitely read it. I would definitely recommend it still, but if you have enough time or if you want to read for your leisure, there are definitely amazing textbooks for each organ systems. but I would like to show two big ones here. The first one is Mills and Sternberg's Diagnostic Surgical Pathology 7th edition. You can find almost anything that you wonder about common or rare conditions. The second one is Rosai and Ackerman's Surgical Pathology. This is another great resource, especially for gross pictures, and microscopic pictures are very nice. But as I said, these are definitely a reference textbook, so you may not need to read cover to cover, but you may want to have it, one of them. And at this point, again, if your department has an access to the expert path, that is definitely another great resource to quickly search or just go through each organ system quickly based on the condition type, such as if it's benign or infectious or malignant. You can quite quickly go through the differential diagnosis, and it gives you the most important pictures with nice arrows, as I said before. Probably the most useful free resource is Pathology Outlines website. This is a great resource for each conditions with very nice pictures and concise information regarding some gross pictures, microscopic pictures, even molecular information. There's another website called Kurt's Notes. Several residents found this website is very helpful. It's a concise and quick way of reviewing each subspecialty, which is very neat. Special thanks to Dr. Kurt Schaberg for keeping this amazing website for us. In terms of grossing, Dr. Susan Lester's Manual of Surgical Pathology will be the most recommended book for you. There's another great book which is Vestro's Surgical Pathology Dissection, and there's another book, Atlas of Surgical Pathology Grossing and Grossing Staging and Reporting from CAP. All are very nice. I would maybe recommend Vestro's for me personally. At this point, I also want to emphasize this website, cap.org, Cancer Protocol Templates. When you go to this website, you will see all the recent cancer protocol checklists, so you can open the PDF before grossing a specimen and see what are the most important aspects of that specimen for grading and staging. CLA gross manual, it's online. You can click and go through the specimens that you are going to gross. It's very nice and handy website. For cytology, there's Edmund Sibat's Diagnostic Principles and Clinical Correlates book, which is, I think, the most useful book. But there's also this DeMay's Practical Principle of Cytopathology and also the Art of Science of Cytopathology for volume set. I don't want to go through all the subspecialty books, that there are a lot of them, but I want to show you an example of a few important series of books. So the first one is Biopsy Interpretation series. I found this series a very useful. It's short, concise books. So you can see one example here for GI and some of the other books. The other series is WHO Classification of Tumors. This is also a very nice series of books. There's also an online version of this book that you can sign up for online access, and it is relatively cheap. I have the access for online version, and it's easy to search and find your way through. As I discussed before, Diagnostic Pathology is another amazing resource. I just put here for head and neck and blood and bone marrow, but there are a lot of books of this series and also very nice. Survival Guide series, also very nice. You see here the Survival Guide to Soft Tissue Pathology and also other Survival Guide to Derm Path, Lymph Node, Prostate, Breast, Cyto. One of the recent series are called Ace the Boards, and this is also very nice books and also online access for both CP and AP side of pathology. For CP side of the pathology, the first one is Henry's. This one, the one I bought and I found very helpful. It has all the subsections of clinical pathology and it's very comprehensive, so you will find almost any information that you are looking for. The other one is Teeth's Textbook of Laboratory Medicine. This is also another comprehensive book that covers latest advances in topics such as clinical chemistry, molecular. This quick compendium of clinical pathology is a quick reference guide. This is another version of practical clinical pathology book. I don't have this book, but I saw some of my friends are using it and they like it. For transfusion medicine, Blood Bank Guide is definitely the most important resource. Dr. Joe Chaffin has podcasts and videos and even like glossaries, quizzes. It's free, amazing resource. In terms of books for blood banking and transfusion medicine, I found this Dennis Harmoning's Modern Blood Banking and Transfusion Practices book is very nice. For HemePath, I have more resources because I'm interested in HemePath, so I'm a little generous on this topic. The first one is Dr. Jaffe's Hematopathology book. This is a very comprehensive, covers everything, and it is very useful for residents and also practicing pathologists. The other one is Dr. Catherine Folker's Bone Marrow Pathology 2-volume set. We also bought this set and it's very nice. It has great, amazing pictures and all the details. From Diagnostic Pathology series, lymph nodes and extranodal lymphomas from Dr. Medeiros and Dr. Miranda's books is very nice. Dr. Amy Defield's Atlas of Lymph Node Pathology seems like a very nice book if you want to go with this one. Flow cytometry and evolution of HemePath neoplasms, a case-based approach book that I have it, and it's very nice, and you will see and evaluate all the lymphomas, leukemias and myeloid stem cell neoplasms. One of the free resources that made in during COVID is the Society for Hematopathology's virtual curriculum series. I finished this series and I found extremely helpful, especially the first few lectures from Dr. Haserian, Introduction to Bone Marrow Interpretation and MDS and MPNs, Dr. Cook's Plasma Neoplasms, Dr. Jaffe's Lymphomas, all Dr. Swerdlov's Lymphoma sessions. You have to watch this series if you are interested in HemePath. Color Atlas of Hematology and Color Atlas of Body Fluids from CAP. I have both of them and they are amazing resources. Their illustrations are the best. Dr. Eric Glassy is great illustrator for all the things that you need for body fluids and hematology. For microbiology, I think Henry is a good resource, but if you want to go a microbiology book, Kahneman's Color Atlas and Textbook of Diagnostic Microbiology is that one, the ones I would want to recommend it for you. I recommend this Association for Molecular Pathology's Molecular in My Pocket card series to quickly look through some of the most important molecular features of each conditions, and there are some other free webinars and some other education resources from AMP that you can also freely register and become a member of Association for Molecular Pathology. So the next step is the website that has virtual slides. I found this University of Toronto's Laboratory Medicine and Pathobiology website is very nice. It has lots of virtual slides with some clinical information you can go through, and you can't finish it probably. Another one is Juan Rosai's collection of surgical pathology seminars. It has some clinical details with the pictures. It's another great resource. Another one is University of Michigan Virtual Slide Box. This has lots of collections, as you can see here. Another one that I found useful, CAP's monthly case challenges. So this has great clinical details of those conditions and also very nice virtual slides. Case index from University of Pittsburgh, Department of Pathology. It has lots of case of the month. In terms of board review, I haven't started board review, but I heard from some of my seniors that these books will be still most important ones. Especially Dr. Spitalnik's Clinical Pathology Board Review, Dr. Lefkowitz's Anatomic Pathology Board Review, and Cytopathology Review. And there is a new book that I have it, and it's very nice, even for your rotations, not just for board. Surgical Pathology Review from Dr. Daniel Mays. In terms of question banks, I heard, I used Pathology and ASCP so far, but I also heard Board Vitals and Path Primer, also very nice resources, but I can't recommend one of the other at the moment. In terms of CME courses, there is Osler course, there is Oxton courses, and there is this annual current concepts in surgical pathology from Harvard Medical School. I bought some of the courses from Oxton, and we have the Osler, and I also watched some of the current concepts in surgical pathology courses. All are very nice. I think Osler is a little bit more concise and for more board relevant. The other ones, for example, current concepts in surgical pathology is more for more practicing pathologists, and Oxton has some subsections that you may find interesting for yourself. Another website that at the beginning of my residency I used for some of the lectures, it's free, Path Elective from Dr. Kamran Mirza and Dr. Colin Lilly. It's a great resource. You may find some of the videos and some of the education is very helpful. Feel free to add your comments down below. As I said, for maybe I missed some of the greatest ones that you